Welcome to Just for Clicks, guys. I am Michael Buckeye. So this is live, raw, and uncut sports talk here on this Thursday edition of the show. If you guys joined me yesterday, you guys definitely know that I got a little heated about the Rooney Rule and like whatnot. But today is Thursday. It is a new day. We're going to discuss the Rooney Rule a little bit more. We're going to really dive deep into the Dallas Cowboys hiring. And we're going to get Marcus, the Sports Freak's first NFL draft top 10 of the 2020 season here. So it is Thursday, and we have to welcome Marcus on the phone here. Marcus, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, Michael. How's it going?
You know what, man? It's been a long time since me and you have talked. If you guys do not know Marcus and myself do another podcast, the Marcus and Mike Show. Marcus got a little under the weather and been out for a few months here with what you have, gallbladder surgery.
Yeah.
So he's starting to recover.
And a couple other things.
Yeah. Well, life happens, but he is starting to recover from that. So, guys, Marcus is a very knowledgeable sports guy for you guys that do not know him or follow him on Twitter or Facebook or anything to that effect. Marcus is a huge Cowboys fan, so Marcus, we have to start with the biggest news of the week. The Dallas Cowboys finally get their man. They finally fired Jason Garrett after many, many years of mediocrity. So first things first, man, what is your thoughts about the hiring of Mike McCarthy?
I think it's an absolutely great hire. People were talking about it's not a splash or whatever. What kind of splash do you want? The guy has been to the playoffs 9 out of 13 years. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's got 10 playoff victories, second only to Bill Belichick since about 2006.
Right.
So, I mean, this is a pretty good hire. I know people were wanting the new kid, the Matt Rule or some, Urban Meyer. But listen, you hire somebody like that, that's unproven. Jerry Jones wanted a proven commodity right now that can come in there, knows the NFL game, knows what's going on, and can already win you games. We don't have time for a college coach. Listen, I like Matt Rule. Okay, I think he had a cup of coffee in the NFL a couple of years ago with the Giants. We don't know how that would pan out. Good luck to the Carolina Panthers. All right, Urban Meyer. I think he's a good teacher of men, good coach. We don't know how successful he would go into the NFL with grown men. Listen, let me ask you a question. Nick Saban's a hell of a coach, isn't he?
Hell of a coach.
Well,
no. Hell of a recruiter.
Yeah. I think he's a good coach, too. He's a good X's and O's coach. You give Nick Saban a few weeks to prepare for your offense, and it's usually you're going to lose unless, you're going up against some superhuman Deshaun Watson or
right.
Johnny Manziel who caught lightning in a bottle for a year. Usually you're not going to fare too well. But listen, Nick Saban didn't do too well in the NFL, did he? So Jerry Jones did not want to take any chance on getting there, and Matt Rule not knowing the NFL game very well. Urban Meyer, he didn't want to take a chance on flaming out with Urban Meyer, whose coaching methods may not work in the NFL. He already knows that Mike McCarthy works, so he wanted a proven commodity, and I respect that, Michael, because look, we have the talent now. We don't have time to wait to see if Matt Rule can figure out the NFL game. I don't have time to see if Urban Meyer can figure out the NFL game. I don't have time for that. Let the Carolina Panthers and the New York Giants and all that. Let them figure that all out.
Yeah.
Let's go with a proven coach right now in Mike McCarthy, who I know next year will get 12 victories.
Oh, that is a bold statement there, because I believe earlier in the season we both had the Cowboys going 13-3 or 12-4, yeah. and we kind of seen how that panned out in the end. Four of those you guys that are kind of new here to the show on Monday. I kind of went in on the Dallas Cowboys just a tad bit. A guy said they were further away from the Super Bowl with the hire of Mike McCarthy than the Cleveland Browns are, like if they were to hire Mike McCarthy. The reason why I said this was because Mike McCarthy is bringing a West Coast offense to a power back team. How do you think Mike McCarthy is going to, work Ezekiel Elliott into the mix, having that West Coast offense? Are they going to, cater to his needs, or, Like in your eyes, Marcus, what is going to happen?
Well, look, the West Coast offense, you're correct, is predicated on short passing game from the Bill Walsh era. But look, Roger Craig flourished in it. I don't know if you remember Roger Craig, number 33 for the 49ers. He actually had 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving. Marshall Faulk did that, and then the Carolina running back just did that. McCaffrey. There's only 3 players that have done that, and one of those has been one of those was in the West Coast system. That was Roger Craig. Listen, Mike McCarthy hasn't had a running back like Ezekiel Elliott. Okay, he gave it to Eddie Lacy a bunch of times. I think that was the only time that in his 13 seasons with the Green Bay Packers that he was in the top 10 in rushing.
Right.
I think they kept feeding Eddie Lacy. Yeah. Listen, he hasn't had a running back like Ezekiel Elliott. Trust me, Ezekiel Elliott's going to get his touches. Okay, so I'm not worried about that.
He has to. He is worth $80 million.
Yeah.
Has to get his touches.
Also Zeke should be happy. This will prolong his career. This will bring in Tony Pollard a little more. I'm not worried about this at all. Listen, this is going to help Dak Prescott. In this West Coast game, he just has to learn the system. This is going to get everybody involved. Short passing game. I'll give you just a little coaching here. The West Coast offense is predicated on the defense coming up and making mistakes while you throw a short pass, and then your receiver can take it to the house off a short passing game like Jerry Rice and John Taylor and those guys used to do with the 49ers. I'm not worried about this at all. This will prolong Ezekiel Elliott's career. Tony Pollard will get some more touches. I have no issues about this at all. Listen, the Cowboys have top-notch talent. Mike McCarthy will come in there, and he's easily going to win 12 games. If you thought Jason Garrett would win 13 games with this talent, with the Cowboys, Mike McCarthy will easily win 12 games. This is a big-time hire. They just got to learn the system. They just got to get in there in minicamp. First of all, they got to sign Dak Prescott because he's not under contract right now. So technically, the Cowboys don't have a quarterback. So it's kind of interesting. I think they're going to have to franchise him. That's exactly what I would do, by the way. But I'm not worried about this at all. Mike McCarthy's system, West Coast offense, there's no worries about this at all.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that I remember with Mike McCarthy before he ultimately left the Green Bay Packers, not by choice by any means, but Aaron Rodgers was upset with him by the lack of the evolution of the offense. They were running the same thing that they were in year 2 to year 13. So, do you think he has had a time to reflect on things? Talk to his buddy over there at the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid, and kind of evolve his offense, or do you think we're going to see the same old that we saw out there in Green Bay land?
Well, listen. Not only what else was Aaron Rodgers upset about? He was also upset about management not bringing in good players and letting good players walk out the door, good receivers.
Right.
So Mike McCarthy doesn't have that worry with Randall Cobb. They'll probably transition tag Amari Cooper and our number 13, who's had another 1,000-yard season. Kid from Colorado State. I don't know why his name was Gallup. He is going to turn into probably maybe a number 1 receiver. So, listen, he's got a lot of toys to work with, Mike McCarthy. I think that's a little bit overblown. I think Aaron Rodgers was a little bit more upset about, just Devontae Adams was his only top receiver, and he's letting everybody else go, and Devontae Adams is getting hurt. I think Mike McCarthy, what some of the reports are, we're saying that this year he took a group of coaches, and they went over game plans and how to evolve his offense. So, no, I don't worry about that kind of thing at all. I think that's just kind of fodder for people that want to be negative and things like that. Listen, this guy's a good coach, okay? This guy has always had top offenses, so not worried about that one bit, Mike.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that point of letting players walk. Jordy Nelson really comes to mind in recent memory that he let walk more or less. So we do have Dak Prescott that is up for contract. Amari Cooper's contract is up, and I believe Randall Cobb's contract is up as well. All big offensive threats and needed on the offense. You also have Jason Witten at that tight end spot. Does somebody like Mike McCarthy let these players walk, or does he go into Jerry Jones' office and say, we need these guys? Because his track record is proven to say that he will let those guys walk. If he sees any chink in their armor, see you later. What do you think?
Look, I'll tell you right now. Yeah, that's a good point. I'll tell you right now. That's a great question because I think does Mike McCarthy want to coach Dak Prescott? If he does, I think they'll sign Dak Prescott to a long-term deal. At least I think they're going to franchise tag him. And let's just see how it works for one year under Mike McCarthy. I think that would be the smart move for Dak to get that 1 year deal. Can you turn that off, please? So yeah, and listen, and the Amari Cooper thing is interesting too. Do they transition tag him? That's possible. But let me tell you this, and we'll talk about this in a little while. This is a wide receiver draft. The Cowboys have the 17th pick with all that talent. You know, that pick is supposed to be in the 20s with the talent. At least we thought that the Cowboys would have like the 28th or 29th pick overall in the draft, and then those jokers go to 8-8, and then they get the 17th pick.
Right.
You have a wealth of wide receivers to pick there at 17. So if they want to let Amari Cooper walk, that's fine. I would not do that. I would put the transition tag on Amari Cooper, and I would put the regular franchise tag on Dak Prescott, and let's run this back 1 year with Mike McCarthy, and let's see what happens. I'd let Byron Jones walk, by the way. I like the kid. Not enough turnovers. He's gotten 2 interceptions in about 80 games. That's like 1 every 40 games. Good cover guy, can't have that. We got to have a little bit more playmakers. A good football player, but I'll go ahead and let him be somebody else's responsibility. I probably, with that 17th pick, go corner.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like we'll definitely touch on the draft on the other side of the break here, but just to amplify your point there, maybe he doesn't have that many interceptions. It's because people simply are just not throwing to his side. We see people like Jarrell Rivas, he has 3 interceptions like all season because they only threw to his side like 9 times. So, I would definitely like to see that stat of like how many times they threw to his side or to his guy versus his interception in the last 80 games.
Yeah, that's true, but you have to come up, Michael, in your career with more than 2 interceptions. I mean, you got to luck up on. You got to be around the football. Listen, they didn't throw to Dion's side a lot of times, Jarrell Rivas' side, and they still got interceptions. I mean, you've got to come up with interceptions, and Byron Jones just simply didn't come up with them. Unless he wants to take a big-time hometown discount, if Byron Jones is looking to be, a top-paid corner in this draft without the resume of interceptions, he will be gravely mistaken. So he'd have to take a big hometown discount there. I think the Cowboys will still pay him well, but they will not pay him like the top 5 corner. No way.
Right. So kind of sticking on this coaching staff here, they ultimately did, or I'm sorry, the Dallas Cowboys ultimately did keep the offensive coordinator. Was that a smart move on their part?
That is, well, Kellen Moore is still still the offensive coordinator. That's yet to be determined. Let's see how well, let's see how well he does with McCarthy when they get in there, maybe mini camps or something. I'm not sure how those talks are going. Mike McCarthy might want to. I think Mike McCarthy's going to call his own plays. So basically, Kellen Moore is going to get somewhat demoted. He'll be offensive coordinator in name, but I'm almost 100% correct on this. Kellen Moore will not learn Mike McCarthy's system over the summer and then call the plays week 1.
Right.
That'll be all Mike McCarthy. And so Kellen Moore, if he wants to, stay on as Mike McCarthy's understudy, that's probably completely up to Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones. I really wanted to fire the entire staff. I thought they did. Those people back. Yeah, listen, most of them will be gone. I think Kellen Moore will be back. John Kidna, maybe Mark Colombo, the offensive line coach. Those 3 might be retained. Maybe Chris Richard, unless Chris Richard gets a defensive coordinator job somewhere else, or maybe even, with the Rooney Rule, go ahead and get interviewed for head coaching jobs. Listen, this is Mike McCarthy's baby. He will be calling the plays. So if Kellen Moore stays on, he'll be offensive coordinator in name only.
That is great insights there from Marcus, the sports for you guys. Just, Marcus is a very knowledgeable Dallas Cowboys fan. He reported for the Dallas Cowboys for several years, so he definitely has the inside knowledge that a lot of us do not have. But on the other side of the break here, guys, Marcus alluded to a topic here. We are going to talk the Rooney Rule, and we're going to talk his top 10 NFL draft. And if we have some time, we got to squeeze in Joe Judge to the Giants as well. So, guys, join us right after the break, and we'll be right back. And welcome back to Just for Clicks, guys. I am Michael Bukasha. This is live, raw, and uncut sports talk. It says Thursday edition, so that means we do have Marcus, the sports freak, here on the other line. Marcus, how is your afternoon going, man? Is it swell?
Yeah, no, it's going pretty good. Just sitting here in the house, usually about to go pick up my little one, my daughter. But yeah, glad to talk to you for a few minutes.
All right, man. Well, thank you for taking us, taking a half hour out of your day or so to talk some sports with us here. If you guys missed us, we did just talk about the Dallas Cowboy hiring of Mike McCarty, and sticking in the NFL, hiring coaches and stuff like that. The Rooney Rule has come back in fruition. If you guys listened to yesterday's show, I was highly upset about the whole Rooney Rule situations here. I think the rule is stupid, and if you just are not qualified for the job, I shouldn't have to interview you just because of your skin color. Marcus, what are your thoughts about the Rooney Rule?
In principle, I agree with you on the Rooney Rule. But everything you just said was correct. I shouldn't have to. It shouldn't be some kind of quota or something where I have to interview you because of your skin color. I agree with that on all bases. It should be the best qualified. That's what sports is, Michael.
Right.
It doesn't matter. You're a coach, man. It doesn't matter who walks in the door. If an Asian kid walked in your door and ran a 4.3 and took punishment and showed he was the best running back, everybody else would just step right aside.
Right.
And this guy would be your new running back. It wouldn't matter where the hell he came from, okay? So I completely get that. But I will say this. The Rooney Rule is responsible for black head coaches getting hired. It's almost like the owners needed that Rooney Rule to go, hey, wait a minute. You're not interviewing enough black coaches. Now we're going to have to put a rule in place, so you're going to do that now. So the Rooney Rule did help as far as that, the Lovie Smiths and Marvin Lewis and coaches and things like that. But you're right. Face value, no, I don't like it. You should be hired based upon what you have done in your coaching career. And that being said, I think a lot of people are getting upset, though, because, Eric Bieniemy is not getting hired anywhere. Leslie Frazier, defensive coordinator, right. Buffalo Bills. I don't think he's even got an interview yet. Marvin Lewis is getting an interview. Now, we know Marvin Lewis's record. He's 0-7 in the playoffs.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Was a longtime Bengals coach. He's a hell of a defensive coordinator, though. I think he's going to get back and be somebody's defensive coordinator.
Right.
I wouldn't have minded him with the Cowboys as a defensive coordinator. That guy can coach his butt off, okay? May not be a great head coach, but there's a lot of them like that that aren't great head coaches but really good coordinators. But I'm glad the Cowboys got Mike Nolan, the linebacker coach from the New Orleans Saints. That guy's track record is pretty damn good.
Great hire,
yeah. But, I think that people are getting upset because there's a lot of black coaches that are not getting the jobs. And I think that'll change. I think Eric Bieniemy is an up-and-coming coach. I think he will be a head coach very soon.
Yeah, I mean, not to take away from anything whatsoever. Yesterday, I was called basically saying that I hated black people for saying that.
Oh my goodness!
But on the other side of the coin, what if only a black coach was interviewed and hired? Shouldn't the Rooney Rule apply to white coaches as well? Shouldn't you have to interview at least 3 people and then one being a different skin color? Yes and no. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me whatsoever because I at the end of the day, I really truly think that NFL owners have their guy already in mind. The interview process is just a formality thing. Just like what the Carolina Panthers did with Rule from the Baylor Bears. They knew they wanted that guy. I've heard reports and seen reports that saying that they were not letting him leave until he signed on the dotted line. 7 years, $7 million, kind of backs up that statement. Just like as well.
Yeah.
So let me ask you
the same thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so let me ask you about that hiring. Rule has never won a NFL game. He's never been a head coach in the NFL, but the Carolina Panthers offer him 7 years, $60 million, $70 million with incentives and he's now the 8th highest head coach in the NFL. Did the Panthers go all in on the wrong guy?
They may have. That's to be determined. That's a crapshoot. It's like drafting in the NBA draft. It's like, hey, you get like James Wiseman. Played like 2-3 games of Memphis, and now he might be the number 1 pick overall. You're just taking a flyer, man. We have no idea if Matt Rule's going to be a good coach or not. That's why Jerry Jones, is it a good hire? We'll find out in a few years. I know Mike McCarthy's a good hire.
Right.
I know that for a fact right now. Yeah, I'll look at the resume. I have no idea what Matt Rule, hopefully he's a home run hit. Jerry Jones, we don't have time to wait around to see if Matt Rule's going to be good or not, or Urban Meyer's going to be good or not, or Lincoln Riley's going to be good or not. We don't have time for that. Those other organizations, go ahead and let them flounder around. They'll have time. So Matt Rule, I would not have hired Matt Rule. I would not have given him almost $10 million a year. I think that's borderline ridiculous.
Yeah.
But real quick, and another thing you were talking about, the Washington Redskins, they knew their guy. They wanted Ron Rivera right away. How fast did he get hired?
Right.
Like almost, minutes after the season ended, Ron Rivera was the head coach of the Washington Redskins.
Same thing with Joe Judge.
I didn't see anybody complaining about that. Nobody complained about that, did they?
No.
No. Yeah. Ron Rivera's an Hispanic American. That's fine. And Ron Rivera's a Super Bowl coach. He didn't win it, but he got there. I happen to think that he's about the same as Jason Garrett, but hey, that's what the Washington Redskins want to do. I think Ron Rivera brings discipline to the Redskin organization, and you can see he already made a few changes as soon as he got there,
right.
And that's a fine hire. But listen, you're 100% correct, Michael. You hire the guy who you target and who you want, regardless of his skin color. Dan Snyder wanted Ron Rivera, got him. No complaints about that. But now everybody's complaining about different hires and stuff. Hey, that's who they wanted. Cowboys wanted Mike McCarthy. They had to interview Marvin Lewis. I thought they were going to interview him to get the defensive coordinator job, but like we talked about, that went to Mike Nolan. I would have been happy with Marvin Lewis as the defensive coordinator. But you hire who you want. That being said, I do think there should be more black head coaches. The league is about 72% black. You would think that there would be a couple of more black coaches, but there's not. Lovie Smith retired. He's now at Illinois. Tony Dungy went to go call games, or he's an analyst at NBC. So, listen, it'll change. I mean, people get all upset about it. Eric Bieniemy will be a coach. Leslie Frazier will be a head coach soon.
Yeah,
he's got that Buffalo Bills defense flying around. Yeah. Yeah,
and just to add to your point there, though, but just because the league is 75% black, those. Just because you are a great NFL player, that doesn't always translate into being a great NFL coach, because there are some people that simply can do, but they cannot tell you how to do it whatsoever. There are people that cannot do, but they know how to tell you how to do it properly. So, I really feel like, just because the league is 75% black, that doesn't mean that 75% of those players can coach in the NFL. They cannot translate their pure athletic ability into thinking of how to tell you how to do it. Because I'm not calling NFL players stupid by any stretch of the imagination, but it is hard to articulate what you have to, like how to perform something.
Absolutely.
Something that comes just so natural.
Yeah, look no further than Michael Jordan, the greatest athlete, greatest player of all time. He couldn't pick a player to save his life.
Yeah.
So he struggled in the draft, to put it mightily. So I understand completely what you're saying. I mean, we'll see. I think people listen. This is where people got upset about it. Joe Judge went from the wide receivers coach to head coach, just skipped over everybody. Okay, because the Giants identified him. They talked to all the right people. They talked to Bill Belichick. They talked to Bill Parcells about him, or whoever, and everybody gave him a ringing endorsement. This guy could be a great coach. So So Dave Gettleman and Mara, the owner, they went ahead and just tabbed him, Coach Judge, wide receivers coach, and he went straight to the top, almost as a head coach. I think that's what people got upset. Like, hey, wait a minute, we got a bunch of black coordinators running around, and they're not even getting a job, and you're taking the wide receivers coach. But hey, man, that's their prerogative, man. They own the team. Exactly. That's what they're going to do. I hope they fall flat on their face. I hope Coach Judge, goes 0-16 with the Giants. I'm a Cowboy fan. And what's funny about it is he better be a damn good coach because his wide receivers were terrible this year. He didn't even have he had a terrible season this year.
Right, exactly.
And that's another thing people were upset about. It's not like his receivers were lighting the world on fire. But I think that's where the spark started, Michael, when Judge went from wide receivers coach to a head coach. I don't think there was race involved there in terms of, I think Gettleman's a moron. I think Gettleman's an idiot. I would not. There's coordinators that are ready to be, and I don't care if they're black or white. I would not have taken a wide receivers coach and just put him as head coach. I don't care if Bill Parcells or Bill Belichick said he's great. I don't care. Let them. I don't let him pay his dues a little bit more. I don't care much about the race. But hey, listen, I'm a Cowboys fan, so I'm happy the New York Giants has a wide receivers coach as their head coach now. I'm stoked about that.
Right. I am a Cowboys fan as well. They are my second team, even though I am wearing my Kansas City Chiefs hat today. But
hey, you're about to go down on Sunday.
Get out of here with that talk, guys. Marcus is a Houston Texans fan as well because he is from that area. So it's definitely has to adhere it. But I don't want the New York Giants to go 0-16. I want them to go 4-12. 5-11 year in and year out, just so they have reason to keep Joe Judge and they name Eli Manning starting quarterback for the next 2 years. But we are getting close to the end of the show here, and Marcus, on Thursdays, I bring you on here to talk the NFL draft. Yes, the NFL draft is 4 months away? 3 months away, actually.
Sure.
April, three and a half. Can you give me your way too early draft projection top 10 pick? Who are your top 10 players going off the board?
Listen, I got a bunch of them. It's hard to put them in top 10 now. I haven't even done a mock draft yet. Like you said, we're 4 months out. This is a wide receiver draft. It's an offensive tackle draft, and it's a quarterback draft. I tell you right now, I like the quarterback this year. Herbert from Oregon. You got the kid from LSU who's absolute stud. He'd probably be the number one pick in the draft. You have Tua. You got this. Yeah, absolutely. So this is a quarterback draft. There's also a good cornerback draft. Grant Delpit, I love him. Free safety, strong safety. This is a heck of a draft. But wide receivers is where you're going to get it. That's why it's going to be interesting. In this first round, I think you might have 5 or 6 wide receivers go. Okay, and that's a lot.
So before we get time here up on the show, like this next week, we will bring you back on and we'll really have a top 10 broke down here. Since this was kind of a Dallas Cowboys focused show for the day, you said the Dallas Cowboys are 17th in the draft this season. Mm-hmm. Tua has officially announced that he will be entering in the NFL draft. Some people has him as a top 10. Some people have him dropping down to the second or third round because of his injury situation, the hip and the ankle and all that stuff. Does he drop down to 17 to the Dallas Cowboys?
It's possible, but not probable.
If he's there, do the Cowboys pick him up?
No, not if you think that Dak Prescott is going to be your long-term answer. I don't think so. I think that if you were to let Dak walk and then you sign Tom Brady like on a 2-year contract, Phillip Rivers, somebody like that, which is possible. To be honest, I'd rather have Phillip. People might think I'm crazy, but I'd rather have 36, 37-year-old Phillip Rivers than 42-year-old Tom Brady. Then with that 17th pick, then you might move up and then you draft a Tua to have him play behind Rivers. I don't think the Cowboys will go quarterback if Dak Prescott is their future quarterback. I just don't think you do that. Dallas is solid all over the place, but with that 17th pick, if you're not going to bring back Byron Jones, Jeff Okudah at Ohio State, the best cornerback in the draft, will probably be gone. But you're looking at a Christian Fulton at a cornerback at a LSU, John Reed, cornerback at a Penn State. You're looking at even a Grant Delpit. You can trade up for him, free safety, strong safety. That would be a great pick for the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm looking at defensive back. Dallas is solid all over the place, but defensive back is where I'd go with that 17th pick. Like I said, if you're going to let Dak walk now, you better sign Phillip Rivers. You better sign Tom Brady. When we're talking like a 2-year deal, and then you go after Tua. Then you go after Justin Herbert with that 17th pick. You trade up and get one of those guys.
All right, guys. So that is going to be it for today's show. Marcus, thank you for having on or being on the show today. Marcus will be our weekly Thursday guest. So look forward to definitely some NFL talk with him, some Cowboy talk, and definitely NFL draft talk as well. So, guys, as always, this is Michael Buckeye. This is live, raw, and uncut sports talk. Join me tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a great day.